Hello, hello. Welcome back to Divine Destiny Guide. I pray you're doing well wherever you are. Sending you the purest of love and light. Remember, we're on top. We're going higher. God is for us. Who can be against us? You are blessed and highly favored, and you're highly, highly protected. So, the song, The Hall of Fame. That song came to me, and as I was meditating, just thinking about, it's like, what is it that we're here to do? And what God has in store for us. And so for a lot of you, a lot of us, the calling that you have on your life, it's like you're not just here to live, work, pay bills, go through struggles, and then die. You're actually going to be recognized publicly. Now, that's not what it's all about. But it's like, because you were not afraid to live your life out loud, to be bold, to speak the truth, you were not afraid to embrace who you are against all odds. It's like, with the opposition of friends, religious groups, your families, you've lost a lot of people because we decided not to settle. You heard the call and you answered. Not only your call, but you decided to do the work, to heal again, to go through that dark night of the soul, the valley of the shadow of death. You had this lonely path that you walk, and it's like you embraced that. It wasn't easy, but like the song says, it was worth it, and it will be worth it for you. For those of you who are encouraged to start your healing journey, to work on yourself, because you're feeling this nudge, this calling upon your life. And this is your time, this is your season to be the greatest. As the lyric in the song says, you can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on the door. You can move mountains and you can break rocks. It's like nothing is impossible for you. I think that's. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah, that's, just a little clip because I don't want to be in any trouble. I don't own any rights to this song, but I just wanted you to hear a little snippet of what I'm talking about. Hall of Fame featuring Will I Am. Like the lyric says, you can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. I'm telling you, it's like I was listening to the song and then I said, no, I need to find the words, the lyrics. You can walk through hell. A lot of you know this path too familiar, and you do it with a smile. You don't look like what you've been through. You can be a hero. You can get the gold. You deserve to get the gold. You deserve to break all the records, like the lyric says, that they thought nobody ever could break. Do it for your people. Do it for your pride. How are you ever going to know? How are you going to know if you never try? Do it for your country. Do it for your name. Because there is going to be a day. I mean, look at everybody else, all the heroes ahead of us. They didn't even know the impact that they would leave here. But why? They stood up for their cause. They stood up for their cause, and because of that, the world is forever changed by these champions, because they were not afraid to be a champion. And so today, this is why we have books that record their struggles. And this is why a lot of us are here today, because of the impact that they made, the sacrifices that they made. And some of them, they were alive to get acknowledgement. Some of them, they weren't. But they were not afraid, like the lyric says, to be the students, to be teachers, to be politicians, to be preachers, to be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers, be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. So all of us, we have our own gifts. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. All of us, we have a divine gift. And I think for a lot of us, we are outcasted by society, because it's almost as if people don't want competition. This is what they're afraid of, competition. And this is why they seek to, to just treat others as outcasts, because they don't want to understand it. It's like religious people, it's like that rigid mindset, and that's it. So when you try to step outside of the norm, then you're looked upon as if you're doing something evil, when all of us have gifts and talents. And if we were able to embrace that, we could all work together, collaborate together to make changes, because that's what we're here for. To know our gift, our purpose in this life, and to walk in that and to embrace that. And so a lot of people, they don't get to do that because they're afraid of what people are going to say. Now, Jesus said that if I am afraid to talk about him, to acknowledge him before men here on earth, then he's going to deny me in front of his Father. And I refuse that. So this is why I am embracing my authentic self, being unapologetically me. I'm not going to apologize for the gifts, the callings, the blessings that God has on my life, because others are insecure. They don't understand it. They don't want to understand it. My gifts make room for me. I am not one person. There are so many different facets to us. The same way that God can come down to be born as a baby, to grow up as a man, to wash feet, to feed people. So there are so many different things, sides to us, that we should not allow anybody in society to restrict us in a box only because they cannot comprehend it. And so for a lot of you, a lot of us, we're having this great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hit, soul tribe. Yeah, it's like God is calling out his people, come out from among them, be ye separated. It's like for a lot of you, a lot of us, we are aliens. We are alienated from people because they don't understand us. For a lot of you, a lot of us, the family, the bloodline that we were born into, the lineage, they are not our soul tribe. And so this is why a lot of these people, they oppose us, or they seek to criticize the things that you want to do, because they don't understand it. It's not meant for them to understand. The calling is not on their life. It's on your life. It's on my life. And so like-minded people are coming together. And so are false people. They are going in their own tribe. Come out from among them. Be separated. You have a calling on your life. So this is a time when, this is like resurrection. People are waking up to their true identity. For a lot of you, a lot of things are coming together now. It's making sense. Because I'm telling you, a lot of the things that I have experienced recently, I'm telling you, if I was to go to somebody who is religious but they're not spiritual and explain some of the things that I have experienced, I'm telling you, it's like while I'm there in the office, I think they would call 911 because they would say she's delusional, she's cray, something is not right, because they can't understand it. They are not evolved. Many are called, few are chosen. But at the same time, do everybody have their own purpose? Yes. So this is why we shouldn't knock anybody, because you don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. More is out there. Eyes have not seen. Ears have not heard. What is out there in the vast space out there. But I think as we come into our alignment with God, and He knows that He can trust us with His wisdom, then little nuggets He reveals little by little. The great gathering, we're coming together. Souls are connecting. Souls are coming together. Wow. Dance with life. So a lot of you're just dancing to the beat of God's drum. It's like, wherever you lead, I will follow. Because you did something to change your energy. A lot of you probably find yourself dancing, singing, because your burdens, they are becoming lighter. It's like I said, everything is becoming more sense. It's like clarity. The scales are falling off your eyes. See, transformation. Yeah, it's because you're changed. Things are changing at a cellular level. This is the basic, this is the base. Cells, this is what makes us up. Deep healing. It's the change that took place, or for some of you, it's taking place right now. Wow. A lot of you are having double mission, like I said earlier. Don't be afraid if you're called into something new. Don't fit yourself in a box, because you may be doing something now and you're thinking that this is going to be it for the rest of your life. Well, God has another mission. You have another mission here, to channel and uplift humanity. Pleiades, you are here to channel and uplift humanity. And like with the other card, it's like Messiah. This is what you're here, to serve humanity. And this is why we're coming together. Tribes, chosen ones. And this is why you notice now is like, for a lot of you, a lot of us, the messages are coinciding. The messages are like going, it's like God, the messages are the same. All the darkness is revealed. People are getting what they dished out. And the righteous, they are being uplifted. People they're restored. Their hearts are renewed. They're feeling refreshed. The bondage, all the chains, the shackles from the enemies, it's broken. It's broken. The crumbling. What are you holding on to? So anything that you were holding on to, you're releasing it. No wonder the scripture says when you marry, you leave your mother, your father, you cleave to your wife. So again, you're cleaving, you're moving to what is suitable for your soul, to what will sustain you, to your calling. No wonder when Jesus was out with his disciples and one of them, their family died, he said, let the dead bury the dead. It's like let those people stay over there. We know that really in Christ there is no funeral, there is no death. We live eternally. So it's like like-minded people are coming together. People who are suitable for your soul. Why? Because we're here to change and uplift humanity. It's like for too long darkness reigned upon the land, and the enemy, they thought that they had the upper hand. And God is now standing in and taking back the reign. Because see, at the end of the day, nobody will be able to say that they did not hear the word before their eyes close. And this is why we have technology where the messages can be shared and heard all over the world. There's a song growing up said the preaching of the gospel will soon be over all over the world. I remember singing that in church growing up, the preaching of the gospel. My grandparents and, those folks that have gone on a long time ago. And I mean, they did not get to see it, but here we are. The word is spread all over. This is why God is calling us. And yes, you will be acknowledged. Whether you'll be here for it, maybe your children, it will be a part of their legacy, or you will see it. But it's like it shall come to pass. It shall come to pass. Yeah, don't dim to fit in. I can't make it up. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? To seem cool with people who are in darkness when we are called to be the light because we don't want to step on people's toes. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We're cuddling people for them to feel good while they're going to hell in a handbasket, or they're living in hell on earth in a handbasket. They're just skipping down empty. How are you dimming your light to fit in? Only you can answer that. But if you know that there is more that you need to do, there is a calling for you, don't dim to fit in. Like I said before, if you are afraid to acknowledge God, to step out of your comfort zone, I mean, nobody escapes this earth alive anyway. So what are you afraid of? That people are gonna kill you? To live is Christ and to die is gain. Either way, you are with Christ. To live is Christ. Like the scripture said, and to die is gain. Either way, you're in the presence of God. So it's like whether you die comfortable or not, you're still gonna die anyway. So you might as well do what you're here to do. Yes, you may step on some people's toes. Yes, you may hurt some people's feelings, because when Jesus came, he stepped on people's toes because they wanted to be comfortable in the side office or sit on their window looking over people, judging them, throwing the laws at them, more than going out there being. Jesus came to show us more than he told us. He did everything that all the seers, the scribes, the Pharisees and all of them, they weren't doing. They just sit there throwing out big words and, criticizing people and condemning. When Jesus came, he fed, he healed. The biggest problem he had was with religious folks because he was changing up things. He had to rebuke them many times, put them in their places. They didn't understand. They didn't want to comprehend him either. He did not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repent. And so for a lot of you, a lot of us, a lot of people need to be healed. They need to wake up from their slumber. And this is why we are here. It's like time is ticking. And for those of you who are in your calling, or you start out, but you know, you falter on the wayside, is like this is time for you to catch yourself. And don't forget why you're here in the first place. It's like get back on your path. Get back on your path. Because if you don't, God will remove you and he will put who he wants to put there. So watch the motive, watch your motives, your agendas. Because for a lot of people, for money and for gains, they change up what they're doing to fit in. To fit in when you're not called to dim, to fit in. Like, yes, your light is going to irritate their darkness. Your light is going to irritate their demons. They don't have to understand you. You're not meant to fit in. You're meant to stand out. You're the light. Hello? Nobody can ignore the light. Nobody can ignore salt. So your salt is going to sting some people. You don't be afraid. Jesus, he told us in Isaiah 43, says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, neither shall the flame scorch you. Just like he did to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They did not get burned, just like he did with Daniel in the lion's den. Nothing can attach us to us or attack us if God did not give them permission to do it. So this is why we can go out into treacherous areas and territories, and it doesn't matter what they try to do, because the thing is, this is why God is coinciding the word right now. Because when they try to slow down my message, somebody else out there is going out. And when they try to, it's like when the mouse stick out his head and they try to hit the head, that kind of game. When they try to hit after you, my message is going out. So this is why the words, the messages are in unison. It's coordinated. Because no matter what, God's word, it must go out some way, somehow. There is always a remnant. For some of you, divine says you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Keep going. Keep vibrating high. You're already doing it. So stop overthinking, questioning yourself. Am I on the right path? Having people talk you out of your mission, your calling. When you know you're struggling. I mean, everybody's coming out of the closet. But only us want to keep in the closet. Hello? Let us fly our banner high. Only what we do for Christ in the end will last. Only what we do for him. Because at the end of the day, the hearse, depending on how you die, where you die, if they find a body, Brinks is not going to be behind it. So we take nothing with us. Naked we come, naked we go. So leap. You go first. It says here the universe, but when I see universe, I see God. Go first. God will catch you. Take the jump by faith. He's not going to let you fall. Nobody do anything for God and regret it. Nobody. Because even in the toughest, the darkest of times, when we go through things that we don't understand, when we come out of it, we're spiritually stronger. We ask, why did I even experience that? Why did I go through that? But we go through things to build up our spiritual stamina, spiritual muscles, so that as we go about, we encounter new levels, new devils, we can pick them off. See, a lot of people, when they know they're evilous and have evilous intentions, when they throw out evil deeds to you and they think that you are dibble-dabbling in iniquity, they use something that is pure, that they think will transmute negative energies. They have a pet in their hand, a dog or a cat, or they'll put their baby, because they know what they're doing. So they think that you're going to, or you're doing evil things towards them because they know what they're doing. A lot of these people, they're right under your eyes, under your nose. This is what I'm saying. So when you encounter false people, it doesn't matter how much they grin and they smile. You're looking past the outer and you're looking at their heart. You're seeing way in their soul, the depth of it. And this is why a lot of people, they are scampering, they're running about. Because when you find them out, and this is what we're here to do. But see, those people, they don't need to be afraid of you or us throwing any spiritual attack. No, we don't do that. Because God fights our battles. He will go past that baby, that cat, that dog, and he will pick you off, or he will hand you your vengeance. But see, this is how people can hide things under our nose. They have been doing it for years. You know, the signs and this and that. And if you don't know what people are doing, then you will be fooled. And this is why a lot of us, we're waking up to people's evil intentions and why they do what they do. People put out hand gestures out there. Different things in the past you didn't understand. Everything now, with the gathering and coming together, everything is revealed to us. What was hidden from people, it's now revealed to the babe and the suckling. God is allowing us to understand people. So this is why when we go through things, we become more aware. We gain, more insight, more foresight. Yeah, be unbound. Release soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Yeah, so a lot of these people that we have encountered in our past, they were just here because they're a part of the contract. Karma, karmics, karmic families and friends. Yes, you may have felt some kind of nudge because that's how it was meant to be, but it's not meant for them to stay in our lives. The womb that brought you here, it doesn't mean that you're going to stay at their side and listen to what, I love it when Mary, when they walked, for a few days and they realized Jesus is missing. And when she finally found him, 12 years old, and she wanted to scold him like, son, why? And Jesus said, woman, don't you know I need to be about my Father's business? She didn't answer him. She just kept all those things to herself, because it's like, no, she's like, oh, she got that flashback like, okay. It's like, I'm sorry, I forget you're not one of us. I forgot what the angel told me before your conception. So yes, that womb brought you here. That masculine as your father, yes, his sperm helped to germinate for you to be here, but you are here. They're only the vessel. It's not meant for you to stay with those people. And this is why a lot of us, and it is coming right up under don't dim to fit in. A lot of us are dimming with people who we think we have a feeling with, a vibe with, when in fact God is saying release yourself. Release soul patterns, soul contracts, and past lives. It's like they no longer fit you. Now is the time for you to go into your calling, to walk into your divine purpose. Yeah, wow, the initiation, the rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Yeah, go through that rite of passage. This is the time for you to cross over. This is the time for you to walk into your destined purpose and your calling with your soul tribe, knowing what you're here to do for the greater good of humanity. The world is going to know your name. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame. I love it for you. I love it for us. Until next time, take care and be blessed.